Hello everyone, my name is Morgan Dethridge.
And my name is Isabel Lubin. Welcome to the first episode of VerveCast for this school year.
Previous episodes of our broadcast can be found on our website, thevervenews.com, or our YouTube channel, The Verve Newspaper.
In this broadcast, we will be covering how the school chose to safely resume in-person learning,
the challenges faced by our very own football team,
and the Upper Room, a new student-led worship group.
VerveCast starts now. Our first story covers the process staff underwent to reopen our school while taking COVID-19 concerns into consideration.
Let's hear more about it from Matthew IREDALE.
Thanks, Isabel. Due to COVID-19, a lot of planning has had to be done to allow students to learn in an in-person environment. This planning has been happening months before the school is scheduled to be back in session.
So the main thing students need to do is to wash their hands and make sure that they are not all up in each other's faces and wear a mask when they can't stay apart, and just be wise in your decision making as far as where you go and how much time you spend with people outside of your home and classroom.
Since our school values in-person learning so much, the staff jumped into putting safety guidelines and new protocols in place.
We looked at all of the different guidelines to give the high school students a high school experience in the middle of COVID-19. And so we looked at the CDC, the Department of Health, the Department of Education, what was going on in the country as well. And we wanted to just put some parameters in place so that they could have sports programs and different social events and stuff. So we put things in place for social distancing, for hygiene, for cleaning, for all of that, so that the students still can have their high school experience.
These new requirements continue to keep students and staff healthy during this time. However, before the schools reopened, staff members faced a lot of uncertainty going into the upcoming school year. After much prayer and planning, it was decided that in-person learning would be vital to the success and mental health of the students. School is reopened this year, and we are continuing to follow the safety protocols, including wearing masks in the hallway, getting temperature checks, following one-way hallways, and consistently washing our hands. It is definitely not what we're used to, but it is what we are needing to do in order to secure our own safety and the safety of those around us.
So the task force worked for months over the summer, was assembled to research different areas related to the return of school. We used data and information from the governor and his recommendations. We used data and information from the state school board, from the CDC. They look more nationally, but we still considered what they recommended, and the Department of Health, and looked at all the considerations and what we could do as a school, and decided that we could put in some parameters and guidelines to safely return.
A lot of planning went into making our school safe for in-person classes, and we all need to do our part to keep it that way. Back to you, Isabel.
Wow, so much went into making plans for in-person learning and ensuring our safety.
You're right. Next we get to hear from Caroline Walker about the complications our football team has faced and how they have grown closer together.
Thanks, Morgan. COVID poses a difficult challenge to sports teams as well, especially contact sports like football. Our varsity team is having to adjust to new safety protocols and the possibility of players having to quarantine at home. With COVID and the high injury count, nothing is guaranteed this season, not even the players who will be on the field during the next game. The coaches and players have done their best to realize that starting players could be quarantined or injured by the time of the next game. However, the team is working hard to train and encourage each other, boosting each other's confidence and morale.
Our main goal has always been to play to perfection, so work our hardest to be perfect in every way. And as a team, we know we're never going to achieve perfection because no one ever will, but we work our hardest to get as close as possible to it.
No matter what comes their way, the team continues to stick to safety protocols and build each other up. They support each other and grow as individuals and together as a team.
Well, the biggest unexpected challenge we faced was COVID. It kind of changed the way society functioned, and it certainly changed the way we approach football. But we're with the school's help, we've been able to overcome it, and we're doing well.
Our team won't be easily defeated this year. Back to you, Morgan.
So many things are unsure this season, but it looks like our varsity football team is handling it well.
They've been able to grow stronger together as a team, and I hope they'll win a lot of games this season to prove it.
Our last story in this episode of the VerveCast is about the Upper Room, a new student-led ministry.
Let's hear more about the story from Lori Ann.
The Upper Room, a new student-led ministry, is providing Christian fellowship for students. They join together at First Baptist Woodstock every Sunday night to worship and have community.
So it started out as like a Bible study of sorts. We started meeting in this like park thing, and my best friend called me and she was like, "Hey, we should start a Bible study." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm down. This is like a super awesome idea." So we started it there, and like the Lord has just grown it so much. Like the Lord has just used it in a way that like is so much more than anything I could ever imagine. So like that's kind of how it started. That was like the origin story, I guess.
The Upper Room brings students together, helping them to grow in their faith and support each other in difficult times. The community aspect of Upper Room also allows older members to mentor younger ones. This helps them to grow in their faith and make godly friendships.
I enjoy just like all of us being together and being able to worship together, which is really cool. Students coming together and worshiping together is like one of my favorite parts for sure. Just seeing everyone contribute is probably one of my favorite parts about that.
The Upper Room continues to prove that age doesn't matter in the sight of God. He commands us to share our faith and make Him known. This ministry is led by students to serve other students, and the feedback they have received has been incredible. Back to you, Isabel.
I love seeing students coming together to worship like that.
Me too. What they're doing at the Upper Room is truly incredible.
Well, that's all we have for today, Knights. As always, thank you for watching.
You can find all things VerveCast by visiting thevervenews.com, our YouTube channel, or scanning the QR codes in the printed issues of our paper.
Also, you can read more about the topics we covered today and others in issue 1 of our paper. And remember,
The Verve is your voice.